Y'all know what it is. It's the morning after. Of course, after a victory, it feels a lot better. So we're going to dive into the Sooners win 59-14 over Maine. A good tune-up game in preparation for the road trip against Missouri. So for the uninitiated, roughly 22 points, 11 on offense, 11 on defense. We break down how we felt about the game and all of that jazz. So let's dive into that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. This video is powered by our partners over at BetUS. Check them out. They are hooking up the gamer. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. So Oklahoma pulled it out. We got to win, guys. Shocking, right? It feels good to be able to talk about a win, first one, since we lost 3 straight. And I'll be honest, just kind of the initial feelings on this game is it was good seeing the young guys play. And it felt like things were starting to compound on each other. I told y'all this weeks ago, back when Michael Hawkins even came in. The one thing I want to see was week over week improvement. We started to see a little bit. It dropped. We fired our OC. And then you saw even more against Ole Miss until another injury happened. And so this game was a great opportunity for all the freshmen to play. At one point, we had an entire freshman offensive line, either redshirt freshman or true freshman. That's bananas. So let's dive into that. Look at all of those numbers. And we'll start off with the first thing. First and foremost, we won. It just feels good to win a game. I had to go, I did another little bit of a rewatch. Not a lot, because there's not much to rewatch in that game. We won. We did what we needed to do. We closed it out. But I did look at the snaps. We had 29 players on defense. We had 29 players on offense, 34 players on defense. We played a lot of people in this game. And to be honest, we needed that. We saw Hickman. We saw some Joshua Bates. We saw Troy Everett run most of the game. We saw a lot of young players as well. And that's what we needed in this one. This was one of those tune-up games where you want to play as many players as possible, get everybody warmed up in preparation to play against the competition, which is going to be this week, Missouri. Yeah, had to get a little dramatic effect in that because it's Missouri. We don't like Missouri. And I don't know why y'all created a rivalry out of this. I'm a little disappointed in you guys. Yeah, I'm talking about y'all. I'm disappointed in y'all for making that a rivalry. Kidding, but in seriousness too. Y'all should have made that a rivalry because they don't deserve that respect. But anyway, we're preparing for that game. So let's dive into what I like the most on the offensive side. But first, word from the sponsor. BetUS, they're hooking up the gamer, man. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. You'll also get 125% on your second and third deposits. They are taking care of you. And so we're in basketball season coming up. They've got all sports. So you can come in, you can pick that. Heck, they got politics on here. So if you're part of that type of lifestyle, shoot, dive right on in. And so you can do that here on the site. And they're going to give you that bonus, 150% bonus up to $2,000, 125% bonus on your second and third deposits whenever you use our promo code YouTube150. So support those that support us, BetUS, where the game begins. Offensively, what jumped out to me the most? Javonte Barnes. Shout out to that young man. He got what he has been wanting to do. 203 yards on 18 carries. Long of 74. Guys, we had a 74-yard run. We had a 90-yard touchdown. And Javonte even had a 19-yard catch to go along with his 200 yards in receiving. He had 222 all-purpose yards while wearing the number 22. I'm sorry. He had 222 all-purpose yards while wearing the number 2. A lot of 2s in there. He had 3 touchdowns, and it was one of those games that we needed. We needed to see that the run game can produce. And Javonte Barnes has been working his tail off this entire season. He's probably been the hardest working dude on the offensive side of the ball. I'm just going to be blunt with it. I appreciate what Javonte Barnes has provided for us. We finished the game with 381 rushing yards. That's a plus. Shout out to Jackson Arnold, 224 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He was 15 for 21, about 70% completion percentage. Michael Hawkins added 3 for 5. 60 yards, 284 yards total in passing, 0 sacks given up. Shout out to the offensive line. You did your job. You made sure Maine didn't get a sack. And that was critical. That was critical. You don't give up a sack to Maine. That would have been terrible. Now, we let them drive and get a touchdown. We'll talk about defense in a minute, and I'll explain kind of why that didn't bother me. Why actually the 14 points that Maine scored did not bother me at all. So stick around. We'll explain what that means. But seeing all the running backs go, J.J. Hester, 4 catches, 112 yards, 90-yard touchdown. That play was impressive, and this is what impressed me the most about that play. You may have seen me talk about it on social media in a few places, but this is the thing that impressed me. In that play, the Maine put out a delayed blitz. So basically, they ran up, I think they're 4, maybe it was 5. And then all of a sudden, you saw a linebacker and a secondary player rush in. It was a delayed blitz to, make it look like it was an artificial zone, but then apply pressure when the quarterback stopped looking. And so they did that. I was like, okay, I see what y'all are doing. A little trickery, a little sorcery out there. Not mad. But Jackson Arnold recognized it. And the line held up the entire time. Like, they didn't even get through for it. And so when Jackson recognized it, he's like, okay, there's going to be more pressure on my left. I need to start moving that direction. And he moved, circled around to where the edge couldn't get him. 2 things were very cool about that play. One, not only did J.J. Hester recognize the trouble on his hitch that Jackson Arnold was dealing with, he altered his route to make sure that he can hit him in stride. So he did that. Jackson Arnold launched that bad boy, got the dude for a 90-yard touchdown. Hester caught it. A little bobble, a little nervousness, but he caught it and was gone. First big play since he was at Missouri, which we played Missouri this week, so hopefully he has another big game. But I think the best part about that is in that game, Isaiah Autry-Dent was playing, that he was playing at the right tackle spot. In a play like that, typically a young player has a great opportunity to hold. Why? He's protecting his quarterback. So he had his guy locked up. He was engaged. But the minute he saw that Jackson Arnold was past him and the defender started pulling away to go, he let go. That's what you're supposed to do. I was impressed with that because having the wherewithal to do that, like I said, most players would have held in that play. He didn't hold. He let the guy go. Jackson Arnold was able to scramble around, throw that play, scramble play, caught, boom, touchdown, 90 yards. And then J.J. Hester just outran the dude, like purely. And it didn't even look like Hester was running hard. He just went out there and just outran him. It was beautiful. So I was impressed with that. That was huge to me. And then, of course, like I said, at one point, we had all freshmen on the offensive line, which was awesome. And you all were asking for young players to play. We started playing some of the younger players. Logan Howland, unfortunately, he did get abused against Ole Miss, but he did not get abused in this game. He actually looked really good against Maine. So he got more confidence. And that's what you want. This game was to build confidence. For Logan Howland as well as Heath Zeta, your 2 redshirt freshmen right there on the left side. They did a really good job of protecting. Troy Everett, of course, always does well. He just does what he does best. Spencer Brown played some extended time. He actually had a solid game. Fabichi Waywood, he's probably the most consistent offensive lineman we've had, and he's the one that's played the most snaps. He plays a lot, and he's done well. He's growing. So I think he'll be even better next season. I was hoping he'd been great year 1. He's been okay, but he's improving week over week. And so I even heard Gabe Acker talking about how he's been probably the most consistent guy. Impressive. Then you go down, Isaiah Autry-Dent played a little bit of, right tackle and did well. You saw some Daniel Akinkumi out there. He got a few snaps late in the game. So you got a lot of the young players out there. Pretty impressive. Shout out to Caden Helms. Got himself his first touchdown and his first catch as a Sooner. Shout out to him. Long time coming. Manning had second catch. He had his first catch in 2022 against Nebraska, and he's been hurt ever since. Got out there, did a really good job blocking, looked healthy, and boom, made it happen. Really good job. And we saw a lot of the young wide receivers. Jacob Jordan, of course, is showing out. He's going to be your next Drake Stoops. He's all reliable. And then my boy, ex-Rob, Xavier Robinson, running back out of Carl Albert High School. The 46-yard catch was impressive. He ran a dude over. All you heard was cracks. Can't wait to see him play more next year. Same thing with his run. 6 carries, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Crack, crack, crack. Everything y'all want. I want a power run game. That's what I want. I want us to have a power run game. And when we figure that part out, I'm going to be happy. I want a power run game. I don't care about these passing yards. I want power run game. You dominate people in the trenches like Michigan did last year, you got to still be able to pass. But if you dominate them in the trenches like that, oh yeah, I want that. Give me that. Inject it. I want more power. We'll see that. Let me know what y'all think on the offense. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Defense-wise, so I told y'all, there's a reason why I did not care about Maine scoring 14 points, because you could tell in this game that the entire team was running probably the most vanilla defense, and we purposely showed nothing. I'll say it this way, even simpler for you all. I don't think we prepared for Maine at all. That's not a bad thing. It's not. It's Maine. You were supposed to be able to beat them 59-14. You were supposed to be able to cover the 35.5 point spread without even trying. This is what you were supposed to do. You go into halftime, 35-7 is exactly what you expect. And in the second half, you just kind of coast it. Play the young players, get them going. We had a lot of young players play. One of the young players that played a lot of snaps, that need to play a lot of snaps and needs to get better out there with those snaps, Jacoby Johnson. He got dusted on that deep pass that led to the second touchdown. He did. And I think he just underestimated the play. That doesn't make Jacoby bad. It's just that he got dusted. And he's going to learn from it. He played 40 snaps on defense. Played the most. Followed by him, Eli Bowen. So your two young guys, redshirt freshman and your freshman, played almost about 38 plus snaps to combine, which is fantastic. Your only veteran that played a lot was Billy Bowman, and Danny Stutzman both had 36 snaps. I'm happy with that. Eli Bowen is a dude, just so y'all know. Maybe undersized, but he's a dude. You can tell that he's a really good corner, and he's going to be really good long term. But that 14 points didn't bother me. I didn't care that we gave up points, because I needed us to go out there and just exert our power and will and just push people around. And we did that. I was impressed with that. That's what I was happy with. There's not much to say on defense. I mean, the Eli Bowen getting players in the backfield. You finished the game credited with 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. Should have had more tackles for loss, but at the same time, like I said, the defense was completely vanilla, and it was on purpose. It was by design. Next week is Missouri. I promise you. I bet you they were working their butts off in preparation for them. They care about that game. Coaching staff does. This year. I don't think they'll care about it next year. This year they do. Especially after the debacle with Caden Green. They care. They want to make sure. Shout out to Devon Sears, though. Every time Sears gets in the game, 2 tackles for loss and a sack. That man be everywhere. Shout out to him. Man. Works his butt off, and every time he's opportunity in the field, he goes. Got to find a way to get him in the game a little bit more. David Stone gets his first sack of his career. Proud of you. Almost had it against, was that the Ole Miss game or the game before that? Can't remember which one. I actually think it was the Ole Miss game. He almost had it there. I actually have the video on my social medias. I'm going to go look real quick and see which one it was. I think it was I think it was Ole Miss. No, South Carolina. Sorry, South Carolina. That terrible game. But it was impressive seeing him go in there, try to get Sellers. He almost had Sellers. And then the sack ended up being picked up by his teammate. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was picked up by Grayson Halton. But he was on top of Sellers' head. I was like, oh man, I was hoping Stoney was going to get that because he pushed. He muscled his way in. But I digress. Stone got his first one. Shout out to him. The freshmen had fun. You could tell that they were having fun, and that's what we wanted. We needed them to get out there and play. We needed them to get the opportunity to do something. And I'm happy for them more than anything. So we closed out. We got a win. We did what we needed to do. A lot of tackles for loss. 6 tackles for loss. 7 passes defended. We were breaking up passes like crazy. Eli Bowen, 2 of those bad boys. Tackle for loss, broke up pass. Jeremiah Newcomb's going to be something special too. Him and Eli out there together. Ooh, boy. And Peyton Bowen. The one thing I have zero concerns about on this team is this defense long term. We've got a lot of young dudes right behind our great ones right now that are going to be good over the next few years. As long as we keep recruiting well, we should have no problem. So now what are we doing? It's on to Missouri. Keep your eye on the prize and focus. Defensively, we only gave up 144 yards passing, 107 yards rushing. They ran a lot of different dudes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys had a carry in this game. 8 guys had a carry. Their most runs was PV, the quarterback, at 30 yards rushing. Overall, 107 yards. It's not bad. You contained them. And the defense did exactly what I hoped they did. After that first touchdown, it was, 8 straight possessions without anything. It was all punts or turnovers. They thought they were going to start running on us. The first play, they ran for 5 yards coming out of the first at a halftime. Martin ran for 5 yards. Like, oh, snap. Then the next play, Martin ran it again for Maine. And I was like, oh, shoot, he's breaking it out. He got 8 yards on that play. Was getting it. Robert Spears-Jennings said, no. Bow. Peanut punch. Knocked that bad boy out. And he recovered his own fumble. Shout out to him. He had a fantastic game again. We need more out of Spears-Jennings, especially when we go into Missouri this weekend. So, that's it. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Give me y'all kind of a shorter one than normal. Just a little breakdown on some of the stuff that I liked and what I felt good about. There were some really good plays in this game. And a lot of players showed up. Love seeing the young players get out there. You made it this far, like the content, hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe. Love for y'all to join this family of Sooner fans talking OU football, SEC, college football in general. Having a blast doing it. All right, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video and the channel this football season. 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using promo code YouTube150. We're out. We will chop it up with you all later on tonight. We'll go live, me and Coop, and we'll talk more about the game and everything. And yeah, see you then. Peace.